Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the HL Summoner Shield number 17 round of 32 game. It's going to be between Team Slippery Eel on the blue side and Team Community Gamers on the red side. My name is The Pash. Casting with me here today is going to be Elthazar.
Hello there, Pash. As you, I believe, have previously said, we were having a little bit of technical difficulties, but both teams are in the lobby now and raring to go. I believe you just need to give them the green light, and then we are go, go, go on this round of 32 match.
We are indeed go, go, go in this round of 32 match. So, should be getting into Champ Select fairly soon. There we go. It is going to be Champion Select between those two teams. Team Slippery Eel on the blue side and Team Community Gamers on the red side. And in fact, they're so magnificent that they bombed our overlays.
Oh dear.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see what we can do about that. That should fix it. Nope, still not. Let's just use their tags then. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing to see right here. First ban has come out for Team Slippery Eel, and that's gonna be the Nasus banned away. And TCG actually banning away Swain. That's pretty interesting.
Unusual ban. He is very powerful in his own way, I would say. There aren't many compositions where he's particularly amazing, but on his own as a solo champion, he's definitely very strong. He's got two forms of damage over time. His Ravenous Flock gives him amazing amounts of sustain, and of course Never Move is a very, very good crowd control ability as well. You don't see him banned very often, but we may see that Community Gamers is running to a specific plan. Dr. Mundo, Flavor of the Month, seems to be banned right now, and we also see the Cassidon gone. I think I must have explained why Cassidon is banned 20,000 times, so I'm hoping you already know that he is one of the strongest AP assassins in the game, and banning him out is pretty much a guaranteed thing.
Yeah. There have been few games in which we actually did see the Cassidon banned, not banned. Curiously enough, the last time we saw that was in last week's finals, EGL Summoners Cup, and he did end up not getting picked. So that was quite interesting. But as it stands, he's banned away here. Next ban for TSE is going to be Renekton, and they have banned out three very, very tanky champions with that. Nasus, Dr. Mundo, and Renekton. They all have the reputation of being very hard to kill once they get going.
Looking at those, I'm tempted to say that TSE might be going for something of an assassination comp or a pick comp. Dr. Mundo, as you've said, along with Nasus and Renekton, have very high health, and of course Nasus and Renekton gain bonus health when they activate their ultimates, which are of course Fury of the Sands and Dominus respectively. Dr. Mundo is just notoriously hard to kill anyway, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see a couple of assassins coming out on TSE's lineup.
Yep, as it stands, first pick is going to be Varus. This is kind of an interesting pickup. He can do a lot of damage with his piercing arrows once he picks up the Bloodthirster, but he's not really, I mean, sure, his Chain of Corruption is a great ultimate for picks, but other than that, his gameplay style, I think you go mostly attack speed on him to get as many procs off his passive as possible, or am I completely wrong here?
There are two ways of building. You can go for the heavy auto attacks, attack speed kind of build, but in the last season, we did see that Tabs, all the time playing for Levendogs, popularized the Legolas build, which is around the Bloodthirster, Last Whisper, and just dealing damage from afar with those piercing arrows. They would be dealing incredibly high damage, and were very, very good, especially for picking off low health targets. Meanwhile, as we see on Team Community Gamers, we have the first two picks for them. We have The Bear Does Not Care, and Leona.
And now it's pretty hard to make a rhyme out of that.
Yeah, I'm not going to try and make it rhyme. However, the bear does quite literally not care, however. Volibear, very, very tanky, so maybe a little bit of a defiance of the potential. Of course, with that Chosen with the Storm passive, allowing him to regenerate up to 30% of his total health is incredibly powerful. Boo Killer as well, jumping around between junglers. It does look like he wants to go for that Xin Zhao. Another very tanky champion. Can be built assassin, but is very, very squishy if you do tend to go in that direction. And that is why in high level play you will always see him built as one of those tanky badasses. There are so many of those in the game. So very mainstream.
Yeah. Team Slippery Eel, in the meanwhile, has picked up Tarek and Oriana for themselves. Tarek, a very strong support with Season 4 changes. Have seen him quite a lot in the past few tournaments. He just gets so tanky later on, and Oriana, we don't have to scratch on her. Pretty much everybody knows that she's an amazing teamfight champion, and for Team Community Gamers, we see the last second switch over to Kennen, so does look like that's gonna go up against that Oriana in mid.
The Kennen pick, interesting considering the lane, but more so considering the team fight potential here. They have a very, very up close and personal team fight right here. You've got the slicing maelstrom coming out of Kennen, incredible damage and the potential for CC across many people. We have the table flip, or as it is properly called, rolling thunder from Volibear. That's also another good pickup. Zenith Blade and Shield of Daybreak. Of course, there is also the Solar Flare. Xin Zhao as well, 3 Talon Strike, very nice crowd control. They are very much going for, I would say, an up-close CC, AoE crowd control kind of comp so far. I'm interested to see what the AD carries they can pick up behind that. It does look like they're looking at Lucian, which would be very good considering all that crowd control. Means that he can guarantee that culling is going to land shot after shot after shot onto one target. And if it's a squishy target like Abuesa or High Delight on those Oriana and Varus, then they are going to absolutely melt in later teamfights.
Yep, they do pick the Lucian up. In the meanwhile, Maokai and Lee Sin getting picked up for Team Slippery Eel. See where exactly they go. As it stands, ladies and gentlemen, the picks are in for Team Slippery Eel on the blue side. It's gonna be Iggy or iGibby on Lee Sin in the top lane. WTF, I'm screwed on Maokai in the jungle. Abuesa playing Oriana in mid, and on AD carry and support, it's gonna be Hydolite and Skylooker on Varus and Tarek.
And meanwhile, on the opposite side, for Team Community Gamers, we have Robinator98 in the top lane playing Volibear, Bookiller0123 playing Xin Zhao in the jungle. I am not even going to attempt to go up with that name. That is really difficult name to say.
Pimel Kakbek. Pimel Kakbek. That's how it goes.
Oh, just now make me feel like an idiot. Yeah, what he said in the mid lane. And in the bottom lane we have Dunwayan playing Lucian and Minzrot playing Leona.
Yep.
Making me looking bad now.
No, yeah. It does look like a very menacing name at first, but it's Pimel Kakbek. It's a pretty long name, pretty unusual too, but it's a name, and can't judge people for their names now, can we? Ladies and gentlemen, there we go. Those are the team compositions. We've talked about Team Community Gamers a lot, but Team Slippery Eel's picks have kind of passed by us. So what do you think about their team composition?
The team is definitely coalescing into a very strong team fight as well. Of course, the command shockwave, especially if you use Maokai's ball delivery system, you can have WTF I'm screwed go straight in with the twisted advance. If you can command protect onto him and land a shockwave onto multiple people, then that fight is going to go so well in your favor, because Maokai's Vegetable Maelstrom can be placed in a similar area as well, mitigating a lot of the damage that the enemy is going to be doing to you. Of course, you also have Chain of Corruption, which is great AoE crowd control. iGibby can do a nice pick if he gets the insect combo, which is of course the safeguard to a ward and then Dragon's Rage back into your team. Very few people going to survive that. Skylooker going to be looking on in that Tarek, getting very, very tanky as you previously mentioned. And of course, Dazzle, very, very fabulous ability to have.
Yeah, the Dazzle. Gonna see how that turns out in the bottom lane as it stands. Both teams with that Tarek and Varus and Leona and Lucian gone for a pretty aggressive bottom lane, especially Lucian with all those poke coming out. If he gets his passive off multiple times, going to deal a lot of damage. But similarly, Varus' piercing arrow can deal a lot of damage as well. Who do you give the edge to down in that bottom lane?
I would say pre-level 4, the advantage is all for Team Community Gamers because of the fact that Hydolite shouldn't have put a point into Blighted Quiver so early on, which means that his other abilities aren't going to be dealing as much damage. As soon as he gets that though, I think there is going to be a bit of a shift back towards neutral. They are still both, as you said, quite aggressive, very, very much down to the poke down the other lane. And since both supports are fairly strong at engaging, of course Tarek does have the heal with imbue. But it's really going to come down, I think, to whether or not Minzrot can land an early game combo of the Zenith Blade into Shield of Daybreak onto Highlight, forcing either a flash or a barrier, and then keeping up the momentum with the aggression.
Keeping up momentum with the aggression. Indeed, ladies and gentlemen, we have 5 seconds left on our delay timer. It means we'll be getting into the game very, very soon. It's going to be the EGL Summoner Shield number 17, round of 32. Between Team Slippery Ale on the blue side and Team Community Gamer on the red side. Now, we have talked a little bit about their team compositions. You probably know what's coming now. Level 1. Both teams. A very, very strong level 1, actually, with that Tarek and that Leona. But who do you think? Should they go for level 1? I mean, especially with the Season 4 changes. First Blood is not as worth as much anymore as it used to be, especially not early on. What do you think?
Invades, yes. Level 1 engagements, not so much. I would say that it would be very beneficial to Slippery Eel if they could get into that jungle in the early phases of the game and try and steal away a buff. But if they got bogged down into a fight, then it's going to come out with no real benefit for either side unless it's a 3 or a 4 kill advantage coming out of the fight. And I very much doubt that would ever happen in level 1. There are, of course, a couple of very, very outstanding situations where level 1 pentakills have been a thing, but I've never been blessed with the ability to witness that, I will say.
Well, every time's the first time. Or it has to happen at some point. Who knows? I'm not saying that it will happen, but probably won't. We'll see. If an invade is even going to happen, because we're not quite sure if that's going to happen. From those both teams, going to see what they decide to do. If they decide to play it safe, they decide to go for a sneaky buff steal or maybe a not so sneaky buff steal. Picking up a few kills while doing that as well. As it stands, ladies and gentlemen, we are in the game. TSE, Team Slippery Eel on the blue side, Team Community Gamer on the red side. And it's going to be an exciting match, hopefully.
Definitely, as we do see the players picking up their starting items. I'm just going to slightly lower the client sound due to the fact it keeps getting reset whenever there is a patch.
Oh.
That's something I do need to try and sort out.
Yeah. There have been a couple of quirks with that new setting system, but overall I think it improved the game. TSE grouping up as 5 here, making a move towards the Tri-Brush, so we might actually see some level 1 aggression come out from them. They wait until everyone is there and then quickly move in towards that river, while TCG, they have piled up as well as 3 in that little patch of brush, but here they do meet TSE. There's the flash dazzle coming out of Tarek. They immediately jump right in there. And Denoing is going very low. That's going to be the first blood, and it's going to get picked up by Maokai. Very nicely played right there. That's going to be an advantage over to TSE. They do decide to recall, and I don't think that is what they should be doing. It should go for this buff, because as we have said, first blood not worth that much anymore. If you look at the gold, yeah, he's basically 200 gold ahead now.
One thing I have to wonder is whether or not Nguyen would have survived had he burned his barrier as well. Because had he survived, it wouldn't have necessarily been so bad now, because of course bot lane is now at a huge disadvantage for TCG at this stage, because of course Nguyen, if he gets caught out in a really bad situation with a really nicely placed dazzle, then he is pretty much absolutely screwed. There isn't a massive amount that can be done. I mean, Minzrot can maybe land a good Shield of Daybreak to slow down the pursuit, but the fact remains that Highlight still has his flash up, and that's going to end up going very badly for him, I think.
Well, we will see. I mean, we did see Skylooker also burning his flash to pick up the kill, and the only thing they picked up from that are 2 assists, which are worth even less now with a less gold value for first blood, because the assist pool is always 50% of the kill value, no matter what. And when the kill value is lower, the assist value is lower as well. Makes sense. And there have been 4 assists given out for that. So I think the advantage that TSE picked up through that first blood is pretty much negligible. But in the top lane, Robinator 98 is going very low as iGibby is going aggressive onto him. Takes a turret hit, but Robinator will get away from that one. Didn't have to burn anything, and here he goes. Does go for the dive, does pick up the kill, safeguards away to a minion. He will survive. And in the bottom lane...
tables were able to be flipped.
Yep, no. In the bottom lane, a little bit of aggression also happening, but nothing much that's going to come from that. Denoyan going very low, but is going to be able to heal himself up by popping a few health pots, or 1 health pot, really.
Yep. Poke being exchanged in the middle lane. To no one's great surprise, Orianna getting a slight farm advantage at this stage in the game. She just does have that far stronger ranged clear.
Rage clear.
Ranged clear.
Oh, okay. Range clear. Yeah.
Rage clear sounds like an ability I'd have back in Season 2.
Clear everything out of pure rage. I think Tryndamere has rage clear. As it stands on the bottom lane, though, we do see Buchler 0, 1, 2, 3 come in for a gank onto High Delight. Does land the audacious charge, but the flash is forced out of him, and he will get away. Still, he's a flash down, and that means both him and Skylooker do not have their flashes available. They're going to be priority targets for that Xin Zhao.
Going in on the top lane onto Robinator. He's going very low already.
No, Robinator he will not quit. Oh, the Zeppling picks up the kill. WTFM screwed, picking up another kill for himself. Is now 2-0-0. Early game advantage definitely going over to TSE at this point.
Robinator was quite screwed. I don't think WTFM screwed is living up to his name, really.
No. Well, maybe it's what his enemies say whenever he shows up.
Oh, he's being ironic.
Yeah.
I see. I did not think of it that way.
Dazzle landing onto the Denoyan in the bottom lane. Immediately counter engagement from Leona onto High Delight. He's going very low. The exhaust is down as well. There's the exhaust out of Skylooker to land onto Lucian. They do exchange exhausts and a bunch of damage, but nobody's going down just yet.
Well, Skylooker and High Delight actually being pushed away from the farm, though. Minsrop being quite aggressive with that.
Yeah,
farm
making sure.
Slightly to the advantage of Denoyan at this early stage in the game, but, well, that can change about as quickly as, well, a Rammus can run with mobility.
2,000 gold lead here on TSE in the early stages of the game as another engagement onto Denoyan, and both High Delight and him are going very low. This could be a 1-for-1 trade. One more auto attack out of High Delight will be able to pick up the kill, and now Minstrad is going aggressive onto High Delight, but he's going very low as well. This might very well be a double kill. Will the piercing arrow be available? No. Skylooker picks up the kill as High Delight shoots his piercing arrow into nowhere.
Skylooker going maybe a little bit crapo there, but it's still to the advantage of the team. 5-0 now, the advantage in kills, and there's a 3,000 gold lead 5 minutes into the game.
Yeah.
5-0, 3,000 gold lead. That is very remarkable.
This is pretty substantial, yeah.
Yes. Current star of the game has to be WTF I'm screwed, which I think at this point is definitely what his opponents are saying.
Yeah. He has been looking at that top lane for quite a while now, keeping Robinator 98 out of the game as much as possible. He's sitting on 0-2-0, not having the best game. And here the engagement comes out of iGibby. He's going to go down here as well. It's going to be his 3rd death. And iGibby picking up his 2nd kill. And there's Bookiller gonna aggress upon iGibby. He's going very low, but he takes Bookiller down pretty low as well. He decides to retreat away. And that Lee Sin is getting very scary early on already.
Yeah, does have that Vampiric Scepter, which is a very strong boost to Lee Sin's damage. His attack damage scalings are very, very high. He is going to wander into that Tribe Rush. For a second I thought he was going to back out. But
He's just meditating.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
He's gonna...
He learned from the school of Master Yi.
Yeah, he's gonna channel his inner power to take down Bookiller here, maybe, as he does run straight into him, but now he's circled in between Robinator and him. He deals a lot of damage down onto Bookiller, but is going down very low himself. There's a flash out. Will he be able to pick up the kill? One more Sonic Wave. No, he does not throw it out. Robinator picks up the kill for himself. That's the first kill of the game for him.
That, and it's also the first kill of the game for Team Community Gamers. Did have to burn the Ignite for that, though. He was actually killed by that first stick of Ignite, which is definitely not optimal for Robinator, considering he's 2 kills, or 1 kill down now at this point in the game.
Yeah. Not the best game so far for Team Community Gamers. Gold lead is still sitting at around 3,000 at this point. Well, actually, it has lessened a little bit, but still, it's pretty high for only 8 minutes into the game. But if they do more of that, of what they just did in the top lane, they could be able to get back into the game. Of course, that was a major misplay from iGibby that allowed them to do that, because he was very deep inside enemy territory. Dazzle does land onto Denoyan. They just do decide to go aggressive, but here comes Bookiller, and there's no ward coverage. Skylooker going very low. Hail of Arrows coming down, trying to slow. There's the flash forced out as they see the Xin Zhao running in. Chain of Corruption forced out of Hide of Light. Will he get in range? No. Skylooker escapes, but they had to burn a flash and an ultimate to get away from that gank.
Yeah, that's a very big advantage burnt in that bottom lane. Neither of Minzrot or Denoyan are actually level 6 as of yet, but that doesn't mean that aggression is not going to go down as soon as they do reach that stage.
Especially as Bookiller is still waiting in that brush, looking for an opportunity, isn't this? Not warded. He's just waiting around until Hydolite pokes his head back in. There, he does decide to give up the weight. They're obviously not getting any closer. Did smell a rat, so he will just walk away back into his jungle.
Meanwhile, WTF I'm Screwed coming in towards that red buff. Looks like he is going to go for a steal, which is a very intuitive play since Bookiller is currently taking his blue buff, so this steal should go down without any trouble at all. There goes the smite. The big glowing hand in the sky comes down and claims that blue buff for WTF I'm Screwed.
Yep, and now he's making his way on towards that top lane. They are looking for a turret here. Are they looking for Robinator 98? They are looking for him, but WTF I'm Screwed going very low there under that turret. However, Lee Sin does his job, taking down Robinator very low. He does decide to move back to the turret. Ooh, just jump onto him. Not quite sure what he was doing right there. Gets taken down by iGibby, who takes a lot of turret hits in return. Meanwhile, on the bottom lane, Annoying again and getting engaged upon, but here's the Zenith Blade onto Skylooker coming out from Minstrad. Culling is burned by Lucian. They do manage to take him down. That's the Solar Flare. Idolite doing his best trying to take down the Lucian, but it will not be enough. Stunned by the Solar Flare. There comes the Boo Killer, and they do decide to gank onto him. He is getting 3 Talon Strike up in the air. Denoyan actually coming in, picking himself up an assist as well. Nice trade. Well, it's not even a trade. It was a 2-for-0 down in that bottom lane.
That was very reckless play by Denoyan. He should not have come back in. Yes, he did get the assist, but he could have died for that, and that would have made that trade nowhere near as good as it was. As you say, 2-for-0 in that bottom lane. Denoyan got a kill, and Boo Killer got a kill. That's very nice in bringing Team Community Gamers back into this right now. Also see Boo Killer looking like he wants to come in on that middle lane. And Embracer has basically been left in peace for most of it.
This has to burn the flash. There's a slicing Maelstrom Shockwave pulling 2 in, but he's going very low. He will go down here, but Pimo will go down as well. The Ignite was down. One more turret hit is enough to pick him up. 1-for-1 trade in the middle lane.
Yeah, Pimo's just standing a little bit too close to that turret. Boo Killer actually been spotted out by WTF I'm Screwed coming up the river. We may actually see iGibby come down and try and get a pick.
There he comes. He runs through the Trey Brush, but directly into a ward. There comes the Twisted Advance onto him. He's going pretty low. Bookiller has to run away now. The Ignite is down. He will go down to iGibby. He picks up his 4th kill. And Robinator, he knew he could do nothing. He will instead try his best to back away from that as iGibby actually runs through the turret, trying to get onto him. We'll just proxy for him now.
There's absolutely nothing Robinator can do at this stage. He just does not have the tankiness to survive iGibby's damage. And because it's mixed damage as well, Tempest does AD scaling magic damage. It's very hard to deal with in the early stages of the game, especially since you're only building armor.
Yep. No, iGibby gonna look to take down this turret right here. He's going aggressive on it. Eating auto attacks from Robinator, but look at that. He's barely doing any damage. The Ignite is down too. He wants to prevent this turret from going down, and look at that. He may actually get the kill. He has to run away now. Robinator activated the Rolling Thunder. Will he be able to flip him back in there? It runs out. He will not be able to quite get onto him. iGibby survives, but so does the turret.
Thunderclaws could have finished that actually, I think. But WTF I'm Screwed coming in as well, which means that we may see
there's down a sapling. Robinator obviously looking for the Lee Sin here, but he's getting aggressed upon by that Maokai. Now decides to retreat as iGibby comes back in as well. He does land the Sonic Wave, jumps back in. Robinator picks up the kill, and here comes Boo Killer. Jumps onto WTF I'm Screwed Robinator. fearing WTF, I'm screwed away. No, actually does not. He decides to turn around on his own. Now goes back aggressive onto him, and Bookiller deals his damage. He backs away once more as he takes a lot of damage, gets knocked up. Bookiller, will he be able to get onto him? There comes the Audacious Charge. One more auto attack onto WTF, I'm screwed. No, he heals himself back up and will survive this one.
That single prop of magical sap saving WTF I'm Screwed's life. I'm wondering if Bookiller may actually try and dive him for this kill. He is very, very low. Does not have the charges of that sap magic yet. Only has one at the moment. Nope, it does look like both of these guys are just going to back away.
Dazzle lands on Delusion in the bottom lane. Skylooker going very low now as they do decide to turn it around. There's the calling Chain of Corruption onto Minsrot. Prevents him from grabbing onto Skylooker for now. But Minsrot is still in pursuit. He is looking for that kill. Will run directly into the Orianna though. There's a flash and he wants to pick up that kill. But he jumps directly into an Orianna. Is now in a very, very tough spot. But it does look like he will be able to get away.
Abrasa being dissuaded off engagement by Female Cacbeck and Bookiller. We do see Hydralight backing out, but he's in plain sight. He could get engaged upon very easily. No, there he is going to back away. They could easily come around onto WTF I'm Screwed, who is just taking his red buff, but they did not have the vision, so they're just going to back away. I'm wondering if a dragon can be done. Meanwhile, of course, iGimme does finally take down that top turret. Blows being exchanged, but I don't think iGimme is going to fall off this.
Well, he does land the Dragon's Rage. Look at that. Nice engagement coming out of him. Will be able to pick up the kill. That's another one over to him. 5-2-2 right now. He has 50% of his team's kills.
Yes, indeed. Bookiller coming up now, trying to get down onto iGimme, but he's only level 8, or iGimme is level 10. Does not have the items for this engagement. I think it would be a very bad idea. Best for him would probably just be to head up to that turret and try and clear out that farm.
Yep. Killer coming up right there. iGimme is still in the vicinity. He is a major threat right now.
Down. High duelist been very low. Down he goes.
Yep, there we go. Sorry about that. Didn't quite catch that on camera. Varus goes down and it's Lucian who picks up the kill.
A very nice solar flare by Minsrot. Barrier was burned.
And the top lane though, iGimme again going aggressive here. WTF I'm Screwed is there as well to try and help him. He goes very low there, but will be able to back away. WTF I'm Screwed nicely saving him right there.
Female Cacbeck was actually around at that time, but he decided to go back to his middle lane, thinking that...
Oh, the Earth Blade lands onto Skylooker in the bottom lane. He's taking a lot of punishment for it. Taken down to half health when you're a tanky Tarek. That's quite a lot of damage done.
Yep, damage going down to the turret. Skylooker not likely to fall unless the culling is used. It is used yet. Just going to see more and more minions cleared away. And that minion advantage being nicely enforced by Dinwayan at this stage of the game. It's nearly 20 CS, but very remarkable to say that the mid lane difference is 58 CS. WTF I'm Screwed actually coming in on this bottom lane. I'm not sure if he's actually going to get the Twisted Advance down. No, he does not. And so he's going to head up towards that blue buff, which Bookiller is actually just picking.
Yeah. He does not quite decide to go in there, just hanging around the ramp, as Minsrot may find himself in a very sticky situation. There's the Chain of Corruption coming down, culling burnt out of Lucian. There's the Zenith Blade onto Idolite, manages to get him out of the trouble. Idolite now has to retreat, but WTF I'm Screwed still going aggressive onto him. He will go down here to him, as the red buff takes him very low. Bookler also coming in there, but there is nothing he can do. In the meanwhile, Robinator and Pimo taking a piercing arrow to their backs, dealing some decent damage, but not enough to take anyone down. They're now collapsing onto Bookler, though. There's the Twisted Advance. Lots of damage coming out. Hydralight will be able to pick up the kill right there. And now, excuse me, they're going to stack on towards this middle outer turret. And Robinator and Pimo are hanging around, but I'm not quite sure if they'll be able to actually prevent this run from going down. We do actually see the majority of TSE go down on towards that dragon. So they're going to pick up a turret and a dragon and a kill from just one engagement in the bottom lane. That'll surely kick things into overdrive for them in this game.
Being on the top lane, Robinator going on to iGimme once again. iGimme's already pushed through that inner turret. Damage going down, but even with Thunderfall's active...
Oh, he decides to go aggressive onto Robinator right there. He's going very low, though. Safeguard to the minion. The last Ignite tick will be able to pick him up. Beautifully
Rominator
played.
surviving with only 150 health. That was very nice for him. Managed to pull Agimi into turret range, and he just took one too many hits from that. And as you say, the dragon did go to the red team, meaning that the gold lead is now advanced to 7,000, 17 minutes into the game. 5 kills in advantage, 12-7.
Yep, 12-7. TSE is looking very strong in this game right now, and TCG, they have been able to pick up some kills, but overall, the momentum is not in their favor right now. They will have to get themselves together. Getting caught out a lot. That has to stop if they want to have a chance at winning this game. And looking at the TSE scoreboard here, we got a 5-3 Seuli Sin, got a 3-0-3 Maokai. Varus having picked up 2 kills for himself as well. 2 more assists than his laning opponent. So overall, the bottom lane is probably what went best here for TCG.
Oh, a bracer into one WTF screwed going in on Female Cack back in the middle lane. Flashes over the wall. Very nice play by him there. I'm tempted to say that TCG really need to gather some magic for this to go their way.
Yeah. Not sure if magic will help them here. Igivy, he's been left mostly alone up there in that top lane. And he's now gonna call out here onto Rominator 98, deal some damage. He gets Rolling Thundered back. WTFM's Crude, though, is also coming around. Rominator fleeing towards the jungle, is gonna run into Orianna and Maokai. This pair is dead!
Still doesn't care, though. He still doesn't care.
Well, he said 3-6-0. It's not the best of games for him right now. He is almost half of his team's deaths. To be fair, though, WTFM's True did go very aggressive onto him in that top lane. As Minstrad burns everything onto Skylooker, he just supposed to dazzle down onto Denoy and flashes away. There's the calling, though, but the Chain of Corruption out of Hydolite onto Minstrad. He's going very low as well. They want to pick up that kill, but Skylooker will get away over High Delight, getting aggressed upon. Now charges up as Piercing Arrow burns the barrier, will survive.
Very intense engagement going on in the bottom lane. Meanwhile, in the top lane, near that inhibitor turret, a 3-for-0 exchange went down in favor of TSE. Robinator, Penal Catback, and Boo Killer all went down. And Abracer and Igibby surviving on very low health thanks to some very nice safeguard and command protect plays.
Yep. Unfortunately, until humanity develops a way to have 4 eyes, we can only look at one fight at a time. So unfortunately, we missed that one while the fight was going out in the bottom lane. But it was another favorable engagement for TSE as they continue to have the advantage in this game and actually make something out of it as well.
Yep, kills currently about double that for TSE. They're 15-7 right now. But Gold Lead is still creeping up in their advantage. It's around 8,000 at this stage, and that is pretty massive. In fact, just creeping over towards 9,000 actually.
Yeah. It is at 9,000 right now. So it has been increasing and increasing over the past few minutes as Skylooker again getting caught out here in the bottom lane. Minstrad and Boo Killer going onto him. The Noya now coming in as well from the bottom lane, but he is just so tanky at this point they will not be able to pick him up.
Definitely, only 21 minutes, but he does have 144 armor. Shatter giving him a massive bonus.
Oh, they're engaging onto Robinator 98 as the Twisted Advance is used onto him to take him down to half health. And that was actually from a collapse coming out of TCG, so TSE really knowing how to play those fights whenever they happen.
Yeah, looks like they are going to try and set up a death brush here.
Oh, Boo Killer runs straight into it. There's a shockwave. Abusia picks up the kill. Meanwhile, Twisted Advance onto Kennen. Protect onto WTFM's Strode. He's going down as well. Burns his Slicing Maelstrom. But Igibby will just jump in and pick himself up the kill. Robinator 98 now going to be the next target. They are going to look for the dive here. The Twisted Advance is used. He's going to Rolling Thunder back, but they all collapse onto him. Picks up the kill. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, we do see Varus able to pick up Lucian. This might actually turn into a map-wide ace at this point. One more Piercing Arrow, one more auto attack. It's going to be the ace for TSE, and they're going to pick up the top inhibitor turret and the inhibitor as well. At 22 minutes into the game, this does not bode well for TCG's fate.
No, it does not. 20-7 currently the kills. 50 seconds until the dragon respawns once again. So it wouldn't surprise me that once Skylooker and Hydralight are done with this bottom inner turret, that they might head that way across to pick up a cheeky dragon while they're at it.
Right now, I'm screwed. Is doing his best to tank away this middle inner, and he's doing a good job at it as well. They are able to pick this one up. Gold lead is now at 15,000. Wasn't it just 9,000 a couple of minutes ago?
Just goes to show how this game ebbs and flows throughout it. Of course, it's very much in the full flow in the direction of TSE. Who knows though, we might just see the turn of the tides if we can get a good team fight out of TCG. Agibi getting collapsed on the top line.
Yep, as we say that, he's getting collapsed upon. 4 members of TCG on their way to take him down. The solar flare does land, the stun goes down. He will die here as Lucian comes in as well. And with a 5 versus 1.
He almost got away as well. He could have safeguarded to that ward, and there would have been no one in range to get that fine ward protect down. Unfortunately, Ryan did come across to pick up that kill in fairly nice style.
Now that putting 5 people top just opens up the bud, and TSE immediately move there and pick up the dragon, so that's going to be more gold over to them. They've picked up every single dragon in the game so far, and now they're moving on towards that middle lane and Forest, and Noyan and Pimo maybe in a little bit of trouble here as the Twisted Advance does come down onto Lucian. He's going very low. Abyssa will pick up the kill with a command attack. They just keep getting caught out. They just keep giving those advantages over to TSE, sending 5 people top. Of course the enemy team would do the dragon at that point. And they did, and they picked themselves up another kill down up in that middle lane, actually from a dragon's perspective at least.
The really, really big problem for TCG right now. Look at their ward coverage. The only ward they currently have on the map is one in that Wraith Brush. In that middle lane. The rest of their jungle is completely blind to them. There is no ward coverage about. They have no idea what's going on in their own jungle, so they're getting picked off like no one's business.
Yep. That is what's currently happening, and it's happening really well for TSE, not so well for TCG. The former just picked up a turret in the bottom lane. It's going to be the bottom inner turret, so the only turrets left now for the latter are in their own base. There's only 2 turrets as well, since the top inhibitor did already go down. Minsrod now going in, trying to land the Zenith Blade onto Hydralight. He may have gone in a little bit too deep. Will get picked up right here. It's going to be the shutdown. Immediately the engagement follows out of Pimo. He does burn the Slicing Maelstrom, but Abyssa and Skylooker will be able to get away. In the meanwhile, though, Gibby and WTF I'm Screwed, they're on the Baron. They are doing it. It is going down quite low already. And the entirety of TCG now making their way up there. Will they be able to be there in time? The jungler, Xin Zhao, is leading the charge, the audacious charge. Will they be able to pick up the steal here? The ward is there. They'll have to flash over the wall. Flash is not available though, and there's the smite coming out of TSE. Maokai picks up the Baron, and Robinator now getting aggressed upon here by Igibby. Will go down, or no? Yes, he will. His passive was not enough to sustain him through the ignite. Double kill picked up for Igibby here, and then Baron for the entirety of TSE.
Yeah, even worse for the members of TCG. Or not quite so bad actually. Hydralight was not alive to pick up that Baron. Slight shame, but still a massive advantage for them at this stage. 18,000 now the gold lead at 26 minutes.
Oh, Lucia getting caught out here by Lee Sid. Look at his damage. He burns the barrier to survive. Minsrod and Pimel now coming in as well. The Zenith Blade does land. Igibby going pretty low himself here. Gonna go aggressive onto Pimel here. Try to get away. There's the culling coming out of Lucian as the entirety of TCG collapses onto him. But in the meanwhile, the rest of TSE pick up the middle inhibitor turret. That means the only turret left for TCG, apart from their Nexus turrets, is now that bottom inhibitor turret.
Yeah, they are cycling towards that bottom lane as we speak as well. Gonna go and steal themselves a cheeky little blue buff while they are at it. Meanwhile, WTF I'm Screwed, who is been for the entirety of this game to no degree screwed, currently 4-0-11, picks up his red buff and moves to join his teammates for what may well be the last team fight of this game.
Yep. May very well be. We're only 27 minutes in, but man, things are looking bad for TCG. And I think at this point, the only thing they can do is try to prolong the game as long as possible until they get to the point where items are no longer a concern. But as it's looking, they're not going to be able to do that. Middle inhibitor goes down. Top has respawn, but immediately they collapse onto it. Going to pick that one up as well. Need the 2 inhibitors for TSE as Minstrad actually goes in. Robinator 98 coming on from the behind. Lots of low health bars actually for TSE. This might be a turnaround. That's a slicing maelstrom coming out of cannon, but Bookiller is going low as well. WTF Screwed will be able to pick up the kill, and they turn it around. Iboesa is under a rampage. In the meanwhile, WTF Screwed trying to pick up Minstrad while they're still onto Pimel, Skylooker, and Aboesa. They are going to be able to pick him up right there. Tries to charge away, but one more auto attack coming out of Oriana, or no, coming out of Skylooker. He'll be able to pick up the kill as the Twisted Advance is used onto Leona right there. He's just pulls herself back in, though, after getting kicked away by Lee Sin. Will go down. It's 4 for 1 so far. Hydolite did go down in that engagement. For a while, it actually looked like they would be able to turn this around, but the damage from the rest of TSE was just too high. They're now on the Nexus turrets as just Denoyan and Bookiller come in trying to prevent it from going down, but they're getting aggressed upon immediately as they arrive. Igibi now desperately trying to take down this turret. Will be able to safeguard away, but there's a flash in from Robinator. Will be able to pick up the kill. Now we actually do see TSE retreat from this. They pick up a Nexus turret, 2 inhibitors, but they're not quite able to close out the game just yet.
Not quite yet, but TCG are most definitely top decking at this stage of the game. They really need to pull the perfect answer in the next couple of turns.
Card game metaphors. I love them.
With a name like that, I just couldn't resist.
Yeah. Top decking. As soon as you're top decking, you know you're in a bad spot. And I don't know what TCG are in if it's not a bad spot. They're down a Nexus turret, and they're just able to pick up targets from TSE because they occasionally poke in their heads too far. And even then, they usually trade 4 for 1 or 5 for 1 or something in that along those lines. And it's not a really favorable trade, especially when you're down a Nexus turret and 2 inhibitor. And meanwhile, TSE making their way on towards that dragon will pick that one up as well. Skylooker actually starting it off all by himself. Look, I'm supporting him, starting off dragon, everyone. Yes, you are supporting Skylooker. 2, 1, and 8. A nice score for a support at this point, and he's getting so tanky as well. In the meanwhile, Igibi pushing up the middle lane. They are looking to finish this game right here and right now with the following engagement.
No surprise at all right now. It's basically a case of about 25 health to 3. They need to just draw that one finishing clear, I think.
Yep. Will they be able to? There, the Sonic Wave does land onto Digino, and Igibi immediately jumps in. Takes a lot of damage though. Nice shockwave pulling in 4, and this could be it. No, this is definitely it. Ladies and gentlemen, TCG are dropping like flies. Bookiller actually getting stunned there in his fountain. We do see the dive come out of Igibi. Wow! They do pick up 3 kills with the help of that fountain turret. Kennen picking himself up a double kill as an encore to this game. Booker now going in, trying to stop the Nexus from going down, but he will get picked up. It's going to be the ace for TSE. It's going to be the game for TSE as well, ladies and gentlemen. They advance to their EGL Summoners Shield number 17, round of 16. As Skylooker is left alone on the map, trying to take down that Nexus. Now runs towards the fountain, wants to die as well, make it to double ace, but it will not be enough. 32 kills to 16 after 31 minutes and 29 seconds with a gold lead of 22,000. Good game to TSE.
Very, very impressive play coming out from TSE, as you say. 12, 7, and 8. Igibi, an absolute monster. And I'm not screwed. Screwing himself in terms of build, actually, right near the end. He picked up a build brought to Cutlass as his last item, but that is the only way in which he was screwed. 5-1 and 18, very commendable play. Across the board, very, very well done by TSE.
Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, this does it for the round of 32, but when we're back, it's going to be 2 teams facing off in the round of 16 here at the EGL Summoner's Shield number 17. So stick around, ladies and gentlemen, because more League of Legends will follow very, very soon.